What's going on, everybody? You are watching King David's Kingdom. I am your host, The King David. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you do like the video. So today's topic for the day is what makes a woman so shallow and cold-hearted. What makes a woman so cold-hearted and shallow typically starts in the household, with her upbringing. Rarely do you see a young female grow up in a household where her mother and her father both treat her like royal princesses with respect, love, and teaches her how to be humble, and she just grows up out of nowhere and becomes shallow. No, that doesn't rarely do you see that happen. Like, most of the time when a female is shallow, it's some kind of trauma, or mean-spirited person she's been around, to where she adopted that mindset. Like, typically her mother was very shallow. Her mother always had a negative outlook on everything and constantly just being critical of everything and everybody. Like, making fun. Her mother would make fun of people and crack jokes about others to make herself look better, to make herself feel better about her insecurities. If the mother is nice, and typically the daughter will be nice. If the mother is out in public and she's constantly worried about everybody else and always talking about people, her daughter will take on that mindset. Like, let's say as if, like, the mother bought a new car, and she'll talk down about another person's car. She'll make, if she felt like her car is better than the next person, she'll talk down about that person's car. She'll make fun of another person's weight, their clothes, their looks, their job. These are the type of women that if you reverse it and you make fun of them and you talk about them, they get very defensive and play the victim role. But like I said, it all starts at home. The mother has, she has road rage, sleeping with multiple men, constantly yelling at her daughter. The mother's always alone, so she's always bitter. So all this bitterness eats at her, and she forces this mindset onto her daughter. And then also the father plays a major role. He plays a major role. Typically, a father who's not in the daughter's life, or maybe he's not around a lot, but he sends his daughter like child support or gives her money from time to time without actually spending a lot of time with her. The girl father is like her first love. So the lack of attention from her father, it all builds up into one. And hear her mother constantly talk negative about her father and other men. She doesn't have respect for men at all. And she's never seen her mother around a high quality guy, so she doesn't know what a high quality guy looks like. So all this stuff builds up into a woman becoming shallow. And you'll hear her mother say, I don't know where her attitude come from. I don't know where my daughter get her attitude. It comes from you. It comes from you. But all of the shallowness and anger turns her daughter into a mini version of her mother. She develops the exact same mindset as her mother. She's always had an attitude like her mother since a young age. Well, typically she doesn't have the attitude, but the attitude starts to develop over her time after constantly being around her mother all the time. Her mother allows her daughter to bring all these boys over, smoke and drink with her, being her daughter's best friend. Then when her daughter get out of line, she don't want to be friends no more. She tries to discipline her daughter, but her daughter doesn't respect her. She's cursing around her mother. But this is what you created. But over the last 20 or more years, the rise of feminism, female entertainers encouraging women to not need a man. Society teaching them that, hey, society teaching them that you are better than this person. You are better than that person. How entertainers always, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Women are brainwashed and corrupted into following this type of mindset. They're programmed. So you add all of that and with society teaching them that, then they have their own jobs, getting their own money. Then you have materialistic things. They're being influenced to lust after this materialistic things, a nice job. You add filters, makeup. It makes women think that they're perfect. They're striving to be perfect. So by them striving to be perfect, because they, in their mind, you have simps and beta men around them telling them it's okay for her to have high standards. It's okay for her to have this and have a mindset to basically have unrealistic expectations. This is where beta men You'll hear beta men telling their daughters, no, it's okay that she don't need to settle for this or settle for that. But what's ending up happening is he doesn't understand that women in today's time were raised totally different than the women back in his time when he was growing up, when they had women like Rosa Parks and women like Maya Angelou, women like Coretta Scott King. Times are totally changing. These women look up to Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Beyonce, who's constantly telling them, hey, be independent, be independent. You don't need a man. You don't need a man. They're constantly telling women that they don't need men, and then as they look up, they're looking for a man because they see their favorite entertainers with men. Their favorite entertainers are telling them you don't need a man, but they have men. It's backwards. It's a backwards mindset. You see Beyonce, Cardi B, all these women have men, but they're telling them I don't need a man. So it's confusing women because they believe that, hey, all I have to do is have this, have that. All I have to do is have a nice car, be in shape. I could still have a bad attitude. I could be out of shape because you have women like Lizzo. And they be like, okay, well, all I have to do is look like this and I could get any man I want. But it's the high quality man is looking for a woman that's submissive who could play the role of being a great wife. But society isn't teaching them how to be great wives. Their mothers are just as young as them. So like I said, it's making women think that they're perfect. They're constantly looking for this perfect selfie angle. Constantly taking selfies, which is also feeding into their narcissism. All of this makes a woman shallow. Society telling them what the perfect man looks like. You see what I'm saying? It's telling them what the perfect man looks like. They're telling them what attractive, what they should be attracted to. You ever wonder why a female, an older female can see her sister with a man or see her friend with a decent man who, doesn't look that attractive, but, or she see an entertainer with a less attractive guy and she says, I don't know how she got with him. I don't know how she got with him. She could do better. He's ugly. But she doesn't ever think to look around and say, hey, maybe I should do the same. Like maybe it's me. Maybe I shouldn't look after a guy with looks. Maybe I shouldn't, chase the guy. Maybe it's not about looks. Maybe it's about what's on the inside. Maybe that's why I'm lonely and bitter to myself and can't get a man. Maybe that's what it is. And you'll hear them say, I can get a man. I could get a man. No, you can't. Because you'll catch him on one day and they'll say, I'm looking for my husband. I'm looking for my husband. Then the next day, oh, I'm single. I'm loving the single life. It ain't nothing like being single, girl. You can go in the house and you could be to yourself. You ain't got to worry about, answering to nobody and blah, blah, blah. Then the next day, it changes again. You see what I'm saying? And they don't realize that all this is leading them into a path of self-destruction. You see what I'm saying? They don't look around and say, hey, maybe I should do what that person did to get a high quality man. But she doesn't hold herself accountable. She could come across a decent guy, humble, nice job, doesn't have any kids, probably one kid. But she's been with so many men who treat her so wrong that she doesn't know what a high quality man looks like, and she doesn't know how to appreciate it because she comes from a household where the father was gone or the father was a beta male and the mother was just so shallow. And she continues to chase after the materialistic things, chase after these guys who are quote unquote have the thug persona, keep talking bad and saying she don't like all these entertainers that she's never met. I'm talking about entertainers that she look at as cocky, arrogant, and she's the one who do the exact same thing. The type of crowd that she hangs around, the type of women that she's around constantly at a young age, where she see her friends telling other guys, oh, you ugly, or you ugly, and making fun of other men. And society, since they were young, told them what the definition of a good man or a guy with nice looks look like. So they see a guy who doesn't fit to that standard and doesn't, fit that type of image that's being promoted in terms of looks. So then that's what also makes her shallow as well, because then a guy comes across who could be a nice guy, or he may be an average looking guy, probably like a 5 or a 6 or a 4 or 5, 5.5. But she will talk, negative about him, and she doesn't know how to, be nice to the guy, or she doesn't know how to appreciate that guy because she is so shallow. And you can't tell her anything. It's nothing that you could tell her. She's always gossiping, trying to escape her depression with weed, constantly getting drunk. And the weed, the marijuana nowadays is just as potent as cocaine. And women don't even understand. They say, oh, it's nothing wrong with marijuana. It's not doing nothing to me. You're getting addicted. You're being dependent on a drug. There'll be women who be pregnant and still smoking a lot of weed. But that's all women do now, is just constantly smoke weed because they're trying to run from their issues. And she ends up bitter. And what ends up happening is she just ends up bitter, just like her mother. But anyway, to all the fellow kings out there, protect your kingdom. If you like the video, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'm out.